as we start on tonight. Once again, good friend of mine. Hey, Dr. Yvette
I am
Harris, how are
fine.
you?
And you, Latanya Washington.
No complaints whatsoever. So let me talk a little bit about her. Dr. Harris is the founder of the EDR consulting firm, which specializes in workforce leadership and parent development. And not only that, you all, she's also a veteran of these here U.S. United States. And so, and I also wanted to say, you guys, in my lifetime, and I've gone after contracts previously, and she's even referred me to people, and I've gotten contracts through her. And one thing that I've always noticed about her is she's very tenacious when it comes to bidding for contracts, and she knows a lot of it in regards to those who are veterans, nonprofits, things like that. And I definitely wanted her to come on this evening and talk to you all, because as you all know, we're already going through this pandemic. We're dealing with so much, but there will be companies, Fortune 500 companies and Fortune 100 companies, universities that literally will be looking for consultants to come in and do a lot of training inside of their companies. And I wanted to make sure you all get the opportunity to hear from her as we prepare for the future. You gotta know how to write them. You gotta know how to bid for them. And a lot of times people do not understand that. And so first and foremost, welcome, Dr. Harris.
Well, thank you. I thank you so much for having me in this space. I am a proud Air Force veteran, educator of 21 years. And so I just hope that everybody has pen and paper because I'm all about education. And so get ready to learn and grow.
I know she's all about education, you guys, and that is literally what we are here for. And as you all know, true to form, I'm not going to waste the time. And I want you all, if you have questions, definitely put them in the comment section, and we'll make sure that we ask them as well for you guys. So first and foremost, Dr. Harris, tell me, for those who may not understand what a contract is or government controlled state, what is a contract?
So a contract, of course, it is a legal binding document, but picture yourself as not having to report to work at a certain time, but doing the work of an employee. So when you get that contract, you're not going to have those fringe benefits that an employee has, but you are still going to be expected to do the work. That is
Mm-hmm.
the difference between having a work contract that says you're here 7:30 to 4 and a work contract that says that in this span of time, you are going to do A, B, and C and have these deliverables.
And have those deliverables. Now, too, thank you so much for sharing that. And so I know I talked about the federal, which is government contracts, right?
Correct.
And then we have the state and the local. For me, I've always, I tried to stay away from government contracts, but I want you to kind of shed a little bit of light on the different, which ones are the greatest. I mean, that people can go after. Which ones do you prefer the most,
Well,
or
first
if
of
any
all,
that you prefer?
understand. First of all, let me say this to anyone out there who is an entrepreneur, whether you sell a product or whether you have a service, you need to get into the contracting space.
Hmm.
You may not be in the federal space, you may not be in the state space, but I'm gonna give you an example. If you bake cookies and you bake them really, really well, and you sell your
Hmm.
cookies in other things for the birthday parties for your neighbors and your cousins, but companies have luncheons, companies have
Right.
conferences, and they may be looking for
That's
someone
right.
to make desserts. You can get a
Right.
contract to bake the cookies for that company.
Wow. That's right. Now that's true. And people don't think about that.
They don't. And it was something that um, I didn't necessarily think about because I am a service provider. And
Hmm.
in this place and space that we're in right now, and with the economy doing what it's doing, I can guarantee you that companies are going to be looking for contractors because they don't have to provide the medical and the insurance and all of those other benefits and perks to a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to
That's true.
save them money. It's going to save
Right.
them money.
It's going to save them money. So now let's get into details for the people out there that are interested in it. How is the process? So kind of shed some light on it tonight on how do you go about bidding for the contracts and the different types that are out there for people.
Well, I'm going to roll back to the beginning because people come to me and Yvette, you have a contract. I want to get a contract. How do I get a contract? First of all, you got to be contract ready. Just
Ooh, talk
and
on it.
look, and contract ready. If you are an individual that you have decided you're going to start a business, go get a business license. Whatever city you live in,
Mm-hmm.
get a business license, get a tax ID number, irs.gov. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
irs.com, org, or anything else. A tax ID
And it's
number,
free.
which
Mm-hmm.
is free. If you get on a
Mm-hmm.
site and they say pay for it, you're on the wrong site.
Mm-hmm.
irs.gov. Write that down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
get your tax ID number, get your business license, because an entity is not going to want to
Mm-hmm.
hire you if you don't have those two documents.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
The third thing, get a business bank account. And Latanya, one of the things I appreciate about you and the list tour is that you help people in business from start to finish. So
Mm-hmm.
commingling your business money with your personal money, that's a whole nother night school, but you want to have a
Right.
business account
Right.
because 9 out of 10 entities want to pay via direct deposit.
Right.
So a business account, a business license, a tax ID number. And then in order to go through this, you have to register or get certified the federal government, the state, whatever state you live in, your local
Mm-hmm.
counties and cities. All of these entities put services and products out for bid. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's really a matter of you going, you let Google be your friend. Let
Let
Miss
Google be your
Google be
friend.
your friend.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Those,
Okay. You're freezing up a little bit.
can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. The screen froze. So until she gets back in, you guys, as she said, you want to make sure that you get into the irs.gov use ID number if you don't already have that, and then you want to make sure that you register at the state level, at the government level, and able to do so by simply going on, and she'll be able to share with us where people can literally go on and get registered at. Okay, there you
Absolutely,
are.
yes. So let's just start. My first contract was a county contract. I reside in the county of San Bernardino.
Mm-hmm.
They have a website, and all you have to do for any company, school, university is type in the name of that. So I typed in San Bernardino County Procurement. That's the language you need.
Okay.
Procurement. Remember that word, because whatever entity that you're looking to work with, procurement is your keyword. And if you put the name of that entity
Procurement.
and procurement in Google, then that particular area of their website is going to come up.
Okay, procurement. Make sure you put that and Google it
And Google it.
in that state.
And
Okay.
so then you'll go in, and each agency has a process that you need to get
Mm-hmm.
registered for, so that then when they put out a contract, you can bid on it. And so some of those, the federal government, believe it or not, it takes minutes to
Mm-hmm.
certify yourself. It's not a long process.
Okay.
And for those of us who are minorities, who are women, who are veterans, there are special areas. You're known as a minority-owned business. You're known as a woman-owned business, or a veteran-owned businesses. Having these titles, having these will allow you to sometimes get priority on a contract. It's
Mhm.
called a set aside.
Mhm.
And every company, from the smallest to the federal government, they have a percentage of their contracts every year that they have to set aside for minority and women and veteran-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So,
got it.
yes. So
So
once
get
you get that,
certified.
get certified. I took 3 weeks out of my life, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and got certified with every entity that I thought I might want to do business
Right,
with.
right.
And, you know,
Everybody.
everybody, it takes time. It
Mm-hmm.
does. And it's a service that I provide for others who don't have that time. But it takes some
Right.
time, it takes some energy. You have to have your paperwork in order, because you're going to need to get you're going to your tax ID number, your all of that. You're going to need that. Two important things you're going to need for the federal level. You're going to need
Okay.
what's called a NAICS code, NAICS, a
Okay.
NAICS code.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to NAICS.com/search.
Okay.
And what that NAICS code is it's basically the industry in which you're going to perform services or sell products. And they're going to
Mm-hmm.
provide you with a number or numbers, and you'll want to write those numbers down. I have notes in my phone that I just put all this basic information, so when the time comes, I just pull it up and then I can enter them, or I can put it on a contract proposal. So you're going to want to keep good records.
Okay.
You want to keep amazing records. And so when you go into the different entities to get certified, they're going to give you numbers or lists or something. You're going to keep that information, and your username and passwords. I cannot stress that enough,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you got to set up a certain username and password. And some of these agencies that you'll be registering or certifying, those username and passwords expire. So you're going to want to write them
Okay.
down,
So
because
expired.
that 90
Right.
days, 120 days, they're going to expire, and you just need to create a new one. So you want to keep good records. It's
Mm-hmm.
important. It's important
To keep good
to
records.
keep good records.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of agencies, especially your government agencies, your certification will expire. So make
Okay.
sure. So last year I changed my email address, I changed my mailing
Mm-hmm.
address, and I recently just changed my bank account. So I have to go into all of
Mm-hmm.
those entities and update my information. And then some of them are getting ready to expire, so I've got to update and recertify.
Okay. Question. Someone just said, okay, they heard that the certification process is changing for women-owned minority businesses. Had you heard anything about that? Let me see. In June 2020, they just read that. Any word in regard, or are these two different type of certifications?
Here's the thing: there are two different type of certifications, and
Different
B,
types. Okay.
it may change based upon the agency. So
Okay.
the
Someone said,
federal.
any advice? Okay.
So my advice is that you go come June, go into that agency's website, check it out. Make sure you keep abreast of the latest information. Make sure
Okay.
your email address is always current, because once you're in the system,
Mm-hmm.
they will email you to communicate. That is how they communicate.
That's how they communicate. Okay. So basically we're talking about two different types of certifications.
It's two different
Okay, with the
types
state.
Yes, it's two different. That's with any entity. You can be
SBA.
certified. Yeah,
Okay.
you can be certified as a woman-owned business. You can be certified as a minority-owned business. The more the I tell everybody, I am certified woman-owned, minority-owned,
Right.
economically disadvantaged, veteran-owned, everything. They have LGBTQ, whatever you have, they got a certification
Right.
for you
For all of it.
for
And so
all.
basically then too, the people who are certified, the ones they look at first. Am I correct?
Most often, they look
Mm-hmm.
at them first, and the reason that they look at them first is because all of us combined still don't make up the number of businesses that my white owned businesses make up.
Right.
And so
Right.
they're trying to balance the scales to give work to others. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line.
Okay. Trying to balance the scale. So at the end of the day, and we got you guys, we talked about this before. We got to certify the businesses. They got to be certified. And it seems like right here, like you said, the procurement, Google it and then do the search. It's not difficult to find out who's looking for what.
No, because
Okay.
once you are
Wow.
certified with an agency or an organization, you can set up to get email alerts.
Okay.
You can
Now
set
that's one thing I would get all the time was those, yeah, and they got a lot of them that come through.
yes. So one thing I
Mm-hmm.
recommend, and this has worked so well for me. As I stated earlier, I
Mm-hmm.
changed my email address. What I
Mm-hmm.
did when I set up my first business email address a few years back, I had my email address forwarded to another email, a Gmail address. And so even though I
Okay.
don't have that original business address, I still have that Gmail address, and that's where I get that
Mm-hmm.
information. So I'm still not out of the loop.
Right. So you're still not out of the loop. Okay. So you guys, it's not difficult to sign up and get in and find this information. So now tell me how does one literally bid? Because you already said you got to make sure you have all of your information available. You got to make sure you go in and certify at the different agencies, whether it's government, state, or local. And then you got to know how to bid. So what is the process of bidding for it? And what else is it that we need in order to, make sure we're doing it correctly?
Okay. So once you get into that space, you will be able to
Mhm.
see where you can look at what's called open bids. And
Open
again,
bids.
open bids, you're going to want to look at open bids. And so let you go to the county of Riverside, and they show
Mhm.
their stuff through public purchase. So you look at open bids for the county of Riverside. Look at the title, and if the title sounds like something that you do, you click on it, and then you'll be able to see what they're looking for. Now, there are
Okay.
three main types of contract proposals. You have your RFA, which is a request for
Mhm.
application, which is
Right.
basically it is where you just have to put your information in. Okay, you put your information, they tell you exactly what they want to know, and if you meet the qualifications and you can do the work, here's what I'm gonna tell you. People say, oh, I'm just going to go get a contract. Look, we can
Right.
all find some bottle tops on Amazon. But if that's not your business, don't go chase that money.
Doing good.
Because if
Right.
they want 100,000 bottle caps in 6 months, it sounds good in theory, but then when you're trying to do your other work, you can't come up with those bottle caps, and then you're gonna look bad. So stay in
Right.
your lane. Stay in your lane. So you
Stay in
have
your
your
lane.
RFA, then you have your RFQ,
Mhm.
request for qualifications.
Mhm.
And basically, that entity is looking for that organization or individual to meet certain qualifications to
Mhm.
possibly get that contract. And then you have your RFP,
Mhm.
your request for proposal. Okay, those can tend to be the most competitive, and a lot of times they want you to actually create a program based upon the scope of work that they have. So
Right.
you go to that website, you look at the open bids, and then let's say
Okay.
I do parenting classes. I'm looking to see
Right.
if a county is looking for someone to do some type of parenting classes. And if I see that,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll look at the scope of work, the length of
Okay.
time for the contract. How
Right.
long is it? A 1 year? Is it a 2 year? Is it a 5 year? And then yeah, I'm looking at the amount of money they're gonna pay.
Right.
Okay. Right. An example, last year I went to bid on a contract and I did not get the contract. I ran into some snags and I didn't even get to turn my proposal in. Well, lo and behold, they put that request for bid out again this year. So I got super excited because I kept my old proposal. So I went to
Right.
pull it down. I
Right.
opened it up. I looked at it. How about they had changed the amount of money from 6 digits to 5 digits, and it was like $25,000 for the same amount of work for 2 years. Who who
Mm-hmm.
who? No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look and you have to count the cost. How much is
Mm-hmm.
it per year? And if it's 100, it's set.
Right.
Oh, they're paying $150,000. Okay, is that per year or is that for the whole contract?
Right. So you
So
got to
you got to
really
really
read it
read
over.
you have to read it, and then how often are they paying? There are
Mm-hmm.
some agencies out here right now that are only paying. I had a conversation with a colleague today, and we were talking about it. This entity only wants to pay quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you have to work for 3 months, then turn in your invoice. Most entities have 30 days before they pay out. So now you're into month number 4. And then if it's anything longer than 30 days, it may be 5 months before you get a check. Can your business sustain for 5 months? Can you
Mm-hmm.
should sustain yourself with that work for 5 months before you get
Mm-hmm.
paid?
Right. So those are things that people really, really need to pay attention to. So you really got to thoroughly read it over. And then you
Absolutely.
have some contracts. Is which one is the one where you literally can put in for the dollar amount you're asking for? Which one is that? Is that the proposal one?
Those are our
RFQ?
those are
Or
normally RFPs where they say how much will this work be. So you are doing when you think of an RFP, think about a grant where you are having
Mhm.
to literally create the program and compete with others that are creating a program, and then how much is it going to cost for you to run that program down to the paper clips you have to buy.
Right. And honestly, for me, those are the ones I love. I love it when I'm able to literally create, because I love seeing what people need, what they need and what they want, and then being able to create it. Because for me, I love creating curriculum.
Yes,
And so those are the ones that I literally love. So for me, I love the local and the state level. I love those ones there. And then I'm able to tell how much money, tell them how much money I'm charging in regards to it for me.
absolutely. And the
But like, okay,
yes.
somebody asked a question. Keep going.
You know,
Keep,
one of the things I'll say to a lot of people out there, and I'm seeing a whole lot of comments, I don't know who they are. All of us in this entrepreneurial space have a network. We have people that
yeah.
we know that do various services and provide products. You need to start networking with people. I was at a retreat last year with Latanya. We were at a retreat. There was about 6 of us, and we literally looked at the services that all of us provide, and we'll probably
Right.
circle back around now that all of this stuff has happened. And we can write a curriculum
Right.
where all 6 of us can provide the services. We can all get paid. And when that bid comes
Right.
out, we don't have to go
Right.
find a stranger because we can do it all. Network with
Do it
your
all.
people. And
Co-contractors, exactly.
you and do not, if you are new in this space, don't be ashamed of being a subcontractor.
Right.
Because some of
Y'all
us,
hear that? Subcontractors.
because here's the
Mm-hmm.
deal. If you're getting paid, what difference does it make?
Make
They don't ask you when you go cash your check at the bank, were you a subcontractor or were you a prime? Money is green.
that's right.
So it's,
Right.
and with some of the services that some of us provide, you're going to be a
Mm-hmm.
subcontractor, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
okay.
okay.
I'm a subcontractor on a couple of contracts, and
Right.
and my bills get
They're
paid
getting paid.
on time.
Exactly.
So
On time.
so when you are looking at that, look at some people that you may want to work with. Look at some people that provide something that complements or that fits
Right.
that contract. And if all of you decide to work together and one of you is the prime and one of you is the sub, please, 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 prime contractors, have a line of credit, because those
Mm-hmm.
subcontractors can't always wait the 5 months. They're almost like
Right. To get.
employees, and they can take you to court if you don't get paid on time, if they don't get paid on
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to
Mm-hmm.
draft those MOUs and have a clear understanding of, this is how much you're going to get paid as a subcontractor, and this is when you are going to get paid as a subcontractor. And get those agreements in play before you take the time to write out that contract.
Right. And so let me interject here. And then someone had a question: how many years or months does it take to get certified? But let me say this to you guys as well. Piggybacking on what she said, even when you know individuals that are able to do certain things, like for instance, Dr. Harris has, she's certified, she's a veteran. So she's able to get a veteran contract where I'm not able to jump in and get a veteran contract because it's just designed for veterans. However, I could literally go in and help and do something and still be a subcontractor. So I hope you guys are understanding what we're saying in regards to that, because some people are still able to get you in the door where you would have never been able to get in the door, and still everybody work together. And so that's what she's talking about, because as a veteran, she's able to get some of those major contracts that I can't get in the door for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's good.
I
And
can register and get certified with the Veterans Administration. If you're not a veteran, you're not getting
right.
you. It's not gonna happen.
You're not going to get into that door. Now, someone asked the question: how many years or months did it say it took to get certified?
I looked at that.
Okay.
So what I did was I set aside 3 weeks of my life to apply to various agencies. So it can take as long as you want it to take. Most of your entities, once you go through the process, your certification is immediate. Now, how long does that certification last? They normally last about 3 years before you have to update the certification.
Okay.
So it can
Okay. I
take,
hope you guys understood that.
with the
Mm-hmm.
federal government, it took about 15, 20 minutes to apply to get certified. With the
Mm-hmm.
California, I'm gonna say, I say this every time I do this
Come
training.
on, the SBA.
The California Public Utilities Commission, the CPUC, okay? That's your water, your electric, all of that, your gas. You have to get certified with the you should get certified with the CPUC. That certification takes about 2.5 to 3 hours just for you sitting
Okay.
at your computer. And at the very end, there is a document that you have to print out and that you have to notarize. So
Mm-hmm.
just know that you just be prepared to have to print out a document and then go to your UPS store and get it notarized and upload it in order to finish the process. And one of the last things that you have to do, especially if you are a minority, person of
Mm-hmm.
color, you're going to have to prove your minority status. I am from the state of
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, and in when I the decade in which I was born, it wasn't on my birth certificate. And no, you cannot use your driver's license. There are only certain documents that they take, and it was not
Okay.
on my birth certificate. I sent them multiple documents. They rejected them all, and I ended up having to get 3 letters from 3 minority agencies that I had just
Hmm.
been a part of or volunteered with, and they had to justify and verify in those letters that I was a Black woman.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So you basically just got to let people let them know that you are a minority.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Okay.
people say, well, why
So
do I
do
have
what you got to do.
yeah, why can't I just check the box? I'm gonna say this to you. Rachel Dolezal. Hello.
Right.
It made
You
sense.
got yeah. It made sense. It really makes sense. Okay, so someone else asked the question. Let's see. Okay, I think we already said that one. You might have to listen to the replay, but Dax, where do I look for it? Someone else asked the question, does my business have to be in business for a certain amount of time to apply?
No, I wasn't actually doing any work in my business. I was doing writing some grants and stuff. And no, I don't write grants anymore. But I was writing some grants for some people that I knew with different agencies. But I wasn't really operating my business full time when I applied to get certified. So no, you get that tax ID number, bank account, and your business license and apply. And you may not use it for years, but get into space.
Hmm. But get into the space. Okay, you guys
Get in.
got that? Okay, someone asked, okay, do we talk about where do we look for bids? You talked about,
You
say
look
that one more time, Yvette.
Yes, you look for the bids in whatever agency and entity that you're interested. If it's the federal government, you go to you Google federal government procurement, California procurement, whatever state you're in, your school districts, I don't know, LA Unified Procurement. That's how you find out where to look for the bids and their each entity's certification process, because each agency's process is going to be different.
So that's and there it is. So Google it, but remember to use the procurement, you guys, when you're searching for them, because they're there. And as you said, when you get in and you get inside and you start getting the information, they will email you all of the
Exactly.
bit everything that is available you're looking for within your industry. They do start mailing that stuff to you. I knew for me it was globs of information. And so the information is there. I think for us, it's just a matter of being ready and prepared for it, and then be patient. For me, one time, and it was in the Riverside County. They literally, I had to send them the information, like the scope of work, the contract, but they listed it on a disc. So I literally had to, so I had to put it on a disc and take it to their office. And so, as you said, you just got to pay attention, and however they want you to deliver or put it out, that's how you want to do it. Go ahead.
We Yes, Latanya, I'm so happy that you brought that up.
Mhm.
When you've done all the work, you've been certified, you certified yourself, now you're ready to bid. This is the educator in me. Before you start writing, read through that
Right.
proposal. Read the RFA, the RFQ, the RFP, whatever it is. Read through it and find out exactly not only what do you need a certain font? Do you need a certain font size? Does it need to be
Yeah.
single or double space? Is there only a certain amount of pages? And then I don't want to say fortunately, I guess, since we're in this era right now with social not being able to go outside, you don't deliver. People are not having you deliver. You're only having to email. And then they're
Yeah.
making the copies. But once we get back outside, there's an entity. When I submitted, I needed to have 7 copies in a binder with a tab in each section and the page numbers. You have to read that
You
small
got to
print
read it.
that's not small, but you
Right.
need to take your time, highlight those things, make those notes, and then make sure you're following those directions to a T. Because if you do not, you can have the best bid in the world, they'll kick you out.
They'll kick you out. So basically, you guys, you literally have to pay attention to what they're asking for, and font size, all that accordingly. And once you learn to do it, you guys, and we're telling you this, and she's telling you all this because it's necessary for you to know. But once you start doing it over and over again, you'll start getting used to the process. But for me, like I said before, Dr. Harris, the minute I began contracts, I don't even look back anymore because I began to realize that's where the money is. And that's where we're trying to get everyone that's here to recognize that literally is where the money is. From just like you said previously, you could be a baker. You got companies that want cookies, just like Kraft. They got people who do exercising, all of that stuff. You just have to put the information in for your industry and see what comes in, correct?
Exactly. It is when I started my business, this was something that somebody brought to my attention in the 90s. They told me, Yvette,
Yeah,
you should get contracts. And I didn't even understand what they were talking about because contract
right.
bids used to be in the newspaper. But once I
Hmm.
once I grew and decided, okay, I'm ready to start my business, I went to the Small Business Development Corporation and sat down with them and I said, I want to do contracts as the backdrop. I call it the backdrop for my business. I'm a
Right.
coach, I'm a trainer, and so I have individual clients and small groups of clients, but it's that contract work that I do. Hey, that in times like this when my individual clients have to buy food that's now $5 for a gallon of milk
Exactly.
and they just can't do their coaching services, my contracts are still rolling
Exactly.
in.
They're still rolling in, and it's and
Still
it's and
rolling
it's it. And that's really what it's all about. And so that's really, and this is why I'm so glad that you are here tonight, and able to tell people that there are other ways. We got people here who work 9 to 5, which is fine. And then you got people who trying to do something on the side because now we're trying to find ways in which how can we make more money? Or people are literally looking to step out into doing what they love to do and what they're called and created it to do. And many people here are consultants. And you're able to go out and train, you're able to go out and teach, and you'll be able to do that. And you just don't have to do it on the small level. There
in.
are other areas out there in which you can do it on a bigger scale. And some contracts literally in 1 year can provide so much money to you guys that you can't even fathom, and just do the work, read
and
and do the work.
and in this time where the world has finally caught up with Zoom, because Zoom has been around for years. I've been doing Zoom trainings and meetings.
I know.
Latanya and I, we've been doing this
No.
stuff for years.
Right.
With Zoom, there are so many of you who may be on this training right now and listening, where you can work your 9 to 5, you can provide your Zoom training, put it up, send it to the entity, and then go work your 9 to 5. You don't even have to be there. You don't even have to be there, but
You
you're
got to
making
be there.
your money because you're a subcontractor.
Right.
Or you go to
Right.
work, or you go to work and on your lunch hour or when you come home. Remember, Zoom is now closing the gap
Yeah.
between time. It's closing the gap of
Yeah.
time. So for those of us
Yeah.
on the West Coast, we can wake up a little bit early and go do a class on the East Coast and then go to work. Or we can
Exactly.
come
That's
home
so
and
true.
we can do a class on the East Coast and whatever. Zoom
And
technology is now, the workforce is now finally catching up to technology outside of the
it's
Silicon
it,
Valley.
it that's so true. It's opened up the gate. And so
And
we
I'm
behoove you
excited.
guys to definitely jump on this and learn and focus in on how can I go after the contracts that I know that I am gifted and talented to do because they're sitting out there waiting for you. And so, Dr. Harris, please provide further information out there to our people here because this will also be up on YouTube as well on the List Tour YouTube page. It'll be there. It's archived. It'll be archived if you guys ever wanted to go back and definitely you guys who are here, subscribe to the channel so when we come back on again and talk more, you are able to get notifications when we do this again. But definitely put your information out there for people because everybody still need to know how do I do it, and sometimes people ain't trying to create. So definitely give your information so people can contact you as necessary.
So I can be reached. You can call me. I answer the phone. I love the phone. So you can call me at area code 909-578-0970. Once again, that's area code 909-578-0970. Or you can reach me via email at yharris, YHARRIS, at EDR, the number four, the letter U.com. Y Harris at
I love it.
EDR4U.com.
For you, the number four,
The letter U.
you. Okay, got it. All right, so you guys have this information, but we just gave you a little tidbit of what is out there and available to you. Now, if you want further information, definitely connect with her. Definitely send her, call her. She says she does answer the phone. You can email her, and she can help you even go further through this process because we want to see everybody succeed. Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you, thank you so much. I'll be calling you after this show, and we'll be talking a little bit more in regards to it all. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you guys. Take the information. Don't just listen to it and not do anything with it. Begin to go out and Google the procurement in your state, in the local, federal level. Find the information. Start now while we are down.
Yes.
So when it is time and they're looking for you, you are ready and able to get out and go after those contracts. Focus in. Any last words, Dr.
You know,
Harris?
now is the time. I got certified in 2017, and later it was a whole year before I started with my bidding on my first contract, and I just got off the phone today. They are coming. There's not a service or a product that's out there that is not going to be able to be needed, not going to be needed when we get done with this process of being in this house. Get certified now, and then just sit back and get ready.
There it is, because they waiting on each and every one of you for whatever it is that you have to offer. Trust me, what I tell you, what we're telling you, they're out there. So start focusing again on that. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, I do see a
Love you, love you,
question.
love you.
Yes, I
Oh,
see a
somebody has a
question.
question.
My
Oh, your
website,
website. Oh, this my sister.
it's Y. I should reach. It's Y Harris at EDR4U. I'm sorry. The website is EDR4U.com. EDR, the number four, the letter U.com, and my email is yharris at EDR4U.com.
That's it. That's it. Hey, sis. All
Thank
right, you
you.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you guys so
Tanya.
much for being with us. Thank you so much. I'm going to call you when we get off this here
Okay.
line here. All
All
right.
right.
Love you guys. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. Connect with your family, connect with your friends, make sure everyone is doing okay. And until next Monday, we're looking forward to seeing great things coming out of each and every one of you. Bye bye.
Absolutely. Bye bye.